The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/ThePodcastingDead.
Man, I am so excited to talk about last night's episode. I'm Justin, by the way.
No, I'm JP.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, JP. How are you?
Well, I'm an alcoholic. It's good to be here.
Me too. So I did come to the right place.
Yeah, you did indeed.
Is this for narcotics as well?
Oh, no, I still enjoy those.
Well, I mean, I enjoy them. I just was trying to read. No, but we are here to talk about last night's episode 3 of Season 10 of The Walking Dead. And before we even get into it, I'm just going to say up front, I'm skipping ahead and doing the rating now. Normally at the end of each, we rate them. If you're new to our channel, that's kind of something we do. We give a rating at the end of each discussion. I'm going to go ahead and rate it now. I'm giving this a solid 4.75. I loved almost everything about this episode, and we'll get into why here in a few minutes. What are your ratings?
I'm gonna save my rating for the end of it. I'm still mulling. I'm still digesting.
Okay.
I caught the 11 o'clock show.
So maybe rehearing some of the themes might kind of get you thinking a different way.
Exactly.
Well, number one, what I'm loving about this season that we have not seen really since Season 1, which I wouldn't call Season 1 necessarily a horror-themed season, but it definitely had scarier elements and more of like because you were experiencing the zombie apocalypse for the first time right alongside Rick Grimes. And since I'd say Season 3-ish, we've kind of lost some of that horror show element. I mean, we had Season 3, the catacombs and the tombs, what they called them in the prison, where it was these narrow hallways and zombies jumping. I mean, it still had an element of, oh, damn, Yeah. And I feel like once we got into the war with the governor going into Season 4 and the flu and all of that, which the flu, no, you know what? I take that back. No, Season 4 even still had horror elements because you had that whole flu thing. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, we've kind of gotten away from any element of horror here, and it's been more or less just an action show. And sometimes even with very little action, a drama show, more or less. With the whole seasons 7 and 8, it almost at times felt more like a soap opera. Mm-hmm. Not that there weren't points in those seasons that I loved, but I mean, I think we can agree those were 2 of the slower seasons. But anyways, what I'm rambling on and on about is that I love that we got back. I mean, my girlfriend actually jumped last night. Like, actually was like, oh God, like the Henry thing where she saw Henry in the room and he kind of like moved. Caitlin, my girlfriend, was like, oh my God, okay, it got me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that from The Walking Dead. So kudos to Angela Kang and the writers, because I know that there are, different writers and such that help with each episode. So kudos to the writing staff for really kind of getting us back to that horror feel.
Mm-hmm. Dude. Yeah, it's had some great moments, man. That stuff with Aaron, that was great.
Yeah. I think that the last time we've really had horror, we did have that really cool episode where, Negan had gotten them all with the tainted weapons or whatever, and they all just started turning. And that was cool. Like, I think that was Season 8, because that was kind of horror-ish. But I mean, Angela Kang Angela Kang has somehow done something that Scott Gimple did in the last few seasons. Like, there is some real tension, real just anxiety with these episodes. Like, there's just looming dread. I don't know, man. Like, I loved last night's episode so much. One of the best I've seen in a while.
It was good stuff. I like the Negan-Aaron dynamic. I guess they're kind of Aaron sort of taking the place of Rick as far as, showing that Negan is reformed and repentative and all that stuff.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan's phenomenal acting, man. There actually were a few points where I wasn't sure Negan wasn't about to just take that crowbar and bash Aaron's head in.
Yeah, they're giving him some good material to work with, man, which has been a lot of criticism from past seasons. I think it's just the material he was given was just a little too cartoony. But now, man, I think he's really, like, giving some heart to this character,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love Michonne. Carol, my girl Carol, man. I know you're not the biggest Carol fan in the world.
No, I never have been. A lot of
I think it's because you don't find her attractive, right?
As But I don't know, man. It's a little weird. So she's like a speed freak now.
Well, she's dealing much how Sadiq's dealing with the PTSD or survivor's guilt, and everything he went through. She's kind of still recovering from the death of Henry. I mean, and when she goes to sleep, she sees Henry. So it's just easier for her to fight that sleep and sleep very little. And the less time she spends asleep, the less nightmare she's going to have about Henry. Obviously, she's still very scarred by that. seeing your son's head on a spike, I imagine, would scar anyone. But
yeah, about as bad as seeing your daughter walk out of a barn as a zombie.
That you're right. Yeah, you're right. She's been through the ringer.
Yeah.
Poor Carol. Like, good point. She really has been through the ringer. I mean, especially with children. I mean, think about it. Every child she's around dies.
Sometimes she has to kill them herself.
Right. Sophia comes out the barn, a walker. She has to kill Lizzie. Well, she didn't kill me. She had to kill Lizzie.
I can't remember her name.
So Lizzie killed Mika, right? Mika was the younger one.
I got no.
Anyway, she had to kill one of those sisters.
She had to kill a little girl. Yeah.
And there were so many things about this episode I loved, man. And I'm sure that because that's just the way my luck works, this will be the episode where all of the listeners will be in the comment section shitting on the episode about how terrible it was. I loved so much about it. I love the psychological, like, did it happen? Did it not? Especially we just saw Joker. So it was cool with that kind of psychological thing. Like, did this happen? Did this not happen? I also loved, like, she looked at the book and it had a picture of her and all the kids that she's lost. I mean, that's really creative and cool writing that we've not really seen in a long time.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, I don't know if I like the drug aspect of Carol's whole thing, just because, I mean, you know.
I think it was just leading to the paranoia. I think that one, it was feeding into the paranoid feeling they wanted to create for feeling like the Whisperers are always watching, you know, and her being on drugs just ramped that up. And I mean, I see why they did it. It was a good kind of, I mean, I see your concern, but I also see why they did it. It was just kind of a great way for them to, like, just put you in the driver's seat of the paranoia you would experience with this group.
Yeah, man. I think they could have still done that, just had her, you know, I mean, because
the hallucinations, I feel, were kind of, they had to use the lack of sleep. I feel like that they probably, I mean, I agree with you 100%, but I feel like their problem was, how do we get it to where she's not slept? I mean,
and I mean, some people just genuinely can't sleep because of trauma and stuff. I mean, I would almost rather see her, like, doing stuff like cutting herself or something.
Well, I feel like probably from the writers it was a safe bet to do drugs because they can solve that problem. If somebody's just not sleeping because they're not sleeping, I mean, you know, it's I guess in the zombie apocalypse it's harder to get them to just go to sleep. So then you would maybe have to introduce drugs to put them to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like in their mind it was a safer bet because they could just get rid of that whole thing by taking the drugs away. I don't know. And plus, she had been traveling, so she got them along her travels. But how long does medication last?
That's what I was going to say. It's little, and this is nitpicky, but, you know, it's just little logistical stuff with pills. I mean, they're, you know.
I understand all that, man. I love this episode.
Yeah, I would almost, I mean, the episode as a whole, man, was definitely solid. I'd almost rather, like, those fishermen have like a little meth lab somewhere, because I bet you could still find what you need, you know, if you know how to make meth.
I'm sure.
You know.
But no, I loved it. Like I said, I am ready for everybody to comment talking about how much they hated it, because that's just my role in this podcast. If I love something, the listeners hate it. If I hate it, they love it. If you love it, they love it. If you hate it, they hate it. So I am fine with the barrage of comments I'm going to get about how terrible this episode was if you felt that way, because I loved it, man. Like, I was really into this episode. And I love the Carol and Alpha standoff. I loved when she was like, we don't have to stand here and listen to this. And she's like, listen to this what? She goes, this bullshit. I love that. I think that Carol, Melissa, is her name Melissa McBride?
Yeah.
I feel like she's just, I'm excited to see her go head-to-head with Alpha. I mean, I would love to see Michonne go head-to-head with Alpha, too. But I think Carol is more or less, it's I don't know. I'm really digging the vibe between Carol and Alpha. It's tense. You've got two Titans who don't die easy, who are probably someone you'd underestimate in a fight, who would totally surprise you. I love it.
Yeah. The only thing is, before, you know, Carol's always been cold and calculating, and now she's just unhinged. Right. So we're getting kind of like Rambo.
And see, Carol, I like that. I like taking characters and getting them out of their normal comfort zone. I mean, she normally is very calculated. Now she's dealing with somebody who may be more calculated than she is. I mean, how in the hell did Alpha know? They were like in Florida somewhere for the winter, yet they know their border was crossed.
I know, it's like they've got trail cams or something.
Right.
It's wild, yeah.
So, you know, Carol might have met her match thus far in terms of someone who's a bit more cunning and got a little bit more of an edge on her, whereas Carol's kind of acting more off emotion. Alpha's a bit more calculated. But I love when she said, you should fear me. I'm going to go back and watch that when I get home. Like, I love that whole conversation. Like, that's good writing when you don't have to have nonstop action. The conversation is great. Like, I love that. Just Alpha telling her, you should fear me. And Carol's like, I don't. I look at you and I feel nothing.
Right.
Like, it's kind of going back to the Rick Negan thing where Negan, I want you to look at me like this. And, finally Rick submits.
Well, speaking of submission, Eugene's finally accepted the fact he's not going to get that Rosita butt. She's not submitting.
No.
That was.
I wonder, it's in the comics, and they tell this. So for the people because we have some people that are just insane. Like, I was going to read the comics when the show ended. Okay, well then just stay away from everything. Because even on the Talking Dead last night, they had a thing that was like, though, Eugene got rejected in this episode in the comics, he and Rosita actually had a relationship.
Yeah.
That's on there. So, if you're not getting it from us, you're getting it somewhere else. But so, yeah, they had a relation in the comic, and I'm wondering if they're just going to do away with that because of her other love. She's got like a love square right now.
Dude, Rosita, yeah.
She be getting hers, man. She's living her best life in the apocalypse.
Yeah, man.
Zero fucks given. Like she's got, Saeed is lost. She's got Sadiq. Right. She's got Father Gabriel, and then you can throw Eugene in there because he's pining for her. Yeah. She's not. So you got this love square with Rosita. She's kind of like the queen bee of the hive. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Maybe because there's so much going on with that they are just gonna not put her and Eugene together.
Yeah, dude, I don't see it happening. I think he's just gonna be a whipped little puppy dog, and
I feel bad for him. But
I do too, man. I've been that guy. Never with a chick with a kid and two other dudes,
but definitely the guy with the mullet.
Yeah.
When you had hair.
Right. When I could grow it, man, it was out. I had the Wolverine sideburns, but I was still getting more butt than Eugene. Jeez, poor.
Has he got any butt in the apocalypse yet? I don't think.
Since the world ended, yeah.
I don't think you had. Tara wasn't into him. She was with Denise, and he. I think the most action he's got is watching Abraham and Rosita, and then probably going into the back to just do what he needs to do.
Out. Yeah, jeez.
Eugene, just stay in your lane, man.
Which apparently is not getting any butt.
There's got to be some girl there that finds Eugene attractive.
You would think. Just his status in the community. You'd think somebody would be trying to, climb that ladder, climb that social ladder.
I love Michonne in the first episode where Eugene is like, I think we need to keep this satellite. There's some technological so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And he's just going, and Michonne's like, oh, my God. Okay, you, Magnus, you, Yumiko, you, and you're with him. Get this thing. I'm really going to miss Michonne, man. I really, it is crazy how we thought, you and I both had said years ago that just the show would not survive without Rick. You take Rick out of the show, and it's got another few seasons. And while I'm not saying that it probably wouldn't be phenomenal with Andrew Lincoln in it, because his portrayal of Rick Grimes is my favorite character in the show, it's given some other characters a lot of really good moments to shine. We've known that we love Michonne for a long time, but she's really gotten to step up in that leader role, and she makes a very Denai Guerrera plays a very powerful, convincing leader. Daryl, I like Daryl again. He's one of my favorite. I dare say he's one of my favorites now, whereas during seasons 7 and 8, I really didn't care much for Daryl. I was saying man, I wish he would have got Negan's bat, So it's really given other characters a chance to kind of step up. And
it's definitely not in Mayberry RFD status right now. I don't know if you're familiar with the Andy Griffith-less Andy Griffith show.
Oh yeah.
Which
I try not to be, but
yeah, and Andy Griffith sucked after Don Knotts left anyway.
Oh yeah, they were just a team.
Yeah,
some people it's like, I think that you would do a great podcast without me, but you never know. Sometimes there are just these teams of people that once you separate them, it just never works. You know what I mean? They never really find their niche without that person to bounce off of, and Andy and Don Knotts were just freaking awesome together.
Yeah, dude. Once it went to color, it was just went to shit.
And Lucy was like that too. Remember, I Love Lucy was basically the Lucille Ball show or whatever, and it went to her and Ethel. I don't remember if Fred was on there.
She had a couple different shows after I Love Lucy, but they were never the same.
Right. Without her and Ricky and that dynamic, it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Not that we don't love Fred and Ethel. They both were awesome. But, it's just kind of all of them together are really what made that show whole. After doing that for so long and breaking that formula up, it just wasn't the same.
Right.
But, dude, I love this episode. Again, so much. I love the tension with the Aaron and Negan thing. I really, for a moment there, I didn't know if Negan was truly going to save him or what. And it is interesting they're kind of replacing Rick with Aaron. With Rick with Aaron. In the comics, this was more or less going on between Negan and Rick. However, Aaron think about it. Aaron's one-handed. He's got like the short haircut the way Rick did, the beard. I mean, they're kind of turning Aaron into Rick.
Yeah, dude. I totally forgot about Aaron's first boyfriend, too, like how the circumstances where he died and all that kind of stuff.
During a shootout, he got shot during a fight with the Saviors.
Yeah, man. I forgot he's got a legit beef with the knee. Everyone does, but I forget it's personal with Aaron, like a lot of other people.
And what was so cool about that was the guy that played Eric, actually, like they filmed the scene of him walking off as a zombie without him. And when he found out, I think I was just like, I don't think he raised a big fuss about it. But he's like, man, I would have loved to have shot that, though. And they reshot that scene just so he could come back and be the one to walk away. It was very sad. I remember that because, like, he leaves him there.
Yeah, dude.
I was at the beach watching that episode, actually. And I remember, like, he leaves him at the tree. And the dude's dying. He's bleeding out, And then when he comes back, and I think Ross Marquand that plays Aaron, I think he's awesome. He played Red Skull and, the Avengers.
Dude, he's amazing.
Not the, obviously, Captain America, but I thought his reaction to Eric wandering off and just him crying was so freaking sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's a shame that Eugene won't give the old stiff one eye a try because he's lovelorn, Aaron's lovelorn, man. If they could get on the same frequency as far as sexuality, they could solve each other's problem.
No, I don't.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it'd be convenient for both of them.
No. I think I think Aaron was more like in Jesus's league of who he would be with. I don't think.
But Eugene's getting in better shape. I mean, he's man. One thing I noticed with Eugene, if he would just talk like a normal person, man, maybe Rosita. Like, how do you take somebody seriously when I don't know, man. Just stop talking in weird.
Coming from the guy,
metaphors.
somebody who's coming from the guy who just used a metaphor.
Yeah, but even still,
coming from the guy who just, it was very well delivered. The one eye, what?
Well, that's not a matter. The stiff one eye.
That's that's like still kind of a metaphor.
Yeah, but even still,
it's still kind of a Eugene saying. That sounds like something. Yeah. I mean, you're not as bad about it, obviously. Eugene doesn't open his mouth without metaphors or something.
He's just going out of his way all the time.
But I'm just saying it is. You got to give me credit here. It is a little ironic that you say that after just delivering one. But anyways, but yeah, I don't think Aaron's in Eugene's league, man. I think Aaron. I think Aaron can do a lot better than that.
Well, maybe so, but
and I don't know if I'm alone in this or not, but I really like Aaron as a character. I say that because some people might not feel like we've gotten enough time with him to really. Because I've heard some people like, I don't care if Aaron dies or not. I'm like, I like Aaron, man. I think that if anything, we just haven't had enough time with him. But I think he's a strong character. I think he's a good character. I think Ross Marquand plays him awesome. Like, I really like Aaron. I've been a fan of Aaron pretty much since he showed up.
Yeah, and it's not like they've ever given him a really dynamic plot point.
This is like one of the first times where we've really, we've had one-on-one time with him to an extent, but this is kind of like one of his first, like, with Rick out the picture, where it's like, hey, he's a main character now. Like, he's, at least I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I really dug I dug the horror elements. I dug the psychological. Like, did that happen? Did it not? And then we see the Whisperer at the end, so we know that maybe she's not as crazy as we think she is. That she's being followed or something.
Yeah.
It was tense. It was a lot of surprise jump moments. The getting caught in the snare and I love the whole Daryl coming in telling her about his dad being a truck driver.
Oh, no, dude, yeah.
And then him going, what are you talking about? My dad wasn't a truck driver. Because basically her subconscious was telling her that you need to go to sleep. Like, just go to sleep. And her subconscious, projected that by having Daryl relay kind of, because Daryl does that. Daryl, be like, my brother used to do a lot of, he's like that uncle that's got a story for everything. Yeah. Man, I can't get this rash to go away off my dick. My brother Merle used to get to clap all the time. Here, take these. He's always, my dad used to.
He probably would have some natural remedy for that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, just grind these leaves and roots together, smear it on there. Don't get too happy with it. But
here, rub some of this in too. What's that? It's shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gross. It's my shit. That doesn't make it any less gross. You need to. What I'm trying to tell you, Aaron, is rub the shit in your eyeballs to get rid of that hogweed. Hogweed ain't no joke though. Like you.
Yeah, I've never been into that, man.
I've not, but I've done. I've read up on it. And it's not a fun thing. I think there's a lot. I have to double check now. I'm not as up on hog. It's something that's in. Well, I think it's in North America too. There's something. There's this British guy, Alfie Aesthetics. I love his channel. He does a lot of like outdoor survival stuff on YouTube, and it's some plant over there. He was talking about like basically it's just like hogweed. Maybe it even was, but like it can blind you, cause nasty rashes. It can actually kill some people, but it's just like something you find out in the common woods. Like you won't think twice about it. You'll brush up against it, and if you get it in your eyes or on your skin, it can just like F your ass up.
It's crazy, man. I've had poison oak, ivy, chiggers, but I ain't never had no hogweed.
I've had chiggers a time or two. I've been fortunate on that. I haven't had that too much. I've had a lot of poison ivy.
Yeah.
But luckily I think I'm starting, knock on wood, man. I think I'm starting to build somewhat of an immunity. Better resistance.
Right.
Not
the older I get, the less it affects me. It'll still get on me, but
yeah.
But
so let's see. What you gonna rate this episode, man?
Dude, it's tough.
Come on, you loved it.
I did.
I'm just playing. I don't want you to ever feel like you have to rate something. If you hated it, man.
It's one of those things I wish I could rewatch. I did watch the later episode, and I was a little dozy, but I watched it, man. Me and my mom went hard at Olive Garden. That's why I was running late. Like
that's like the whitest thing I think that's ever been said. Is me and my mom went hard at the
Olive Garden.
At
that Olive Garden, dude. Those never-ending pasta bowls, man.
Dude, Olive Garden is good though.
Yeah, dude. Like, and the thing is, I went and hung out with a buddy at a local Italian place, Frank's. Just for a drink and to hang out or whatever. And I started to just sing the praises of Olive Garden. I'm like, I better shut my ass up. This dude's gonna, because the owner was sitting right across the room, and I was like, he's gonna get up.
JP, which he is Italian though, right?
Yeah, he is. He is. So that's very accurate. But no, because I was just praising him the other day.
Yeah.
About it, which he does have good food. But anyway, enough about all those carbs. I'll give it a good 4.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I give it a 4.75, and basically the reason, like I said earlier, the reason why, the way I try to rate it is off of how did it make me feel. Did I have trouble keeping my attention on the TV? Was I just kind of ready for it to end? Because you get some of the episodes where you're just kind of like, all right, I'm ready to go to bed. Let's just wrap this thing up. Yeah. The reason why I'm giving this one and singing such high praises, man, is because at no point was I ready for it to end. At no point was I bored. I didn't find myself playing on my phone. Like I was in it to win it. And the Carol Alpha exchange was awesome. The Aaron Negan dynamic, I'm glad we're finally getting more Negan time. It's about damn time. Let's keep this up, Angela Kang and the writing staff of The Walking Dead. Like, let's get some more Negan time in now. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's got a lot to offer in terms of acting. Like, let's utilize that.
Yeah.
And I loved it, man. Like like you can hear me now. I'm just giddy and excited because it's a Walking Dead episode that I loved from one side to the other.
Yeah, man. It was a good one.
But like I said, love it or hate it. Tell me why you loved it or hated it in the comments section. I mean, I'm sure there are things that we missed. Like JP said, he watched the 11. I mean, sometimes we do catch the late showing. Sometimes, we get up early as hell for work. Mm-hmm. So there are times where our bodies are trying to shut us down halfway through the episode. And like JP said, if it wasn't for the fact that we need to get these out on Mondays, I almost would rather do these on Tuesdays when I've had a chance to watch the episode twice.
Yeah,
but we don't have to
watch once just for enjoyment, and then go back and really analyze and pay attention.
Yeah. So maybe I don't know. Maybe we could start using Google Hangouts, and that's what we could do. We could watch it Sunday night, don't podcast Monday morning, go home and rewatch it, and then just connect from our homes via Google Hangouts and do a podcast that way.
Figure that out. I don't know that I can really rewatch. Like I've been watching it on the Sling TV app, which has been awesome.
Yeah.
I get to watch it in real time, because before I got an Amazon Prime season pass, so I was literally watching it Monday morning, before we podcast, which sometimes was cool because it's like super fresh on my mind. But now Sling TV has been a good thing, man.
But yeah, kudos to Angela Kang, to the staff of that are helping write The Walking Dead, man, because I mean, if this is what we have to look forward to, I am so excited for this season. Like I said, season 9 really kind of turned it around for me. Season 7 and 8, I mean, I'm going to watch the show no matter what, but I started getting a little burned out and just kind of was like, all right, I mean, I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan, I love all, but can we speed this up a little bit?
Right.
Season 9 and now this season, I'm loving every step of the way. Mm-hmm. Not saying they don't have a few lulls, but overall, I am just so into it. So let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon. We'll have another Patreon exclusive podcast this week that you can get access to if you're a patron.
We will.
And actually, we're going to go ahead and do this contest. I think we're just going to go ahead the next week or two and just go ahead and draw.
Yeah, we're going to do a giveaway.
Get this prize box sent out because we've got some really cool things that kind of sum up the channel things, conspiracy stuff, Walking Dead stuff, just all kinds of really cool prizes that'll go into this box. What do we say? Easily over $100 worth of stuff.
It's gonna be a good tight box. Yeah.
So we'll pull that from our patrons. So you know. But yeah, as far as I know, I think that's going to wrap it up.
Yeah, dude, I think we rounded the bases pretty good. Just, pray that Eugene finds some butt somewhere. That's all I
pray
can
that
say.
Carol actually gets some natural organic sleep. I mean, there's got to be like a weed dealer in the zombie apocalypse, right?
I don't know,
somebody
man.
Get Carol, pack a bowl for homegirl, and just let her.
She's going to be entering into like Tyler Durden territory pretty soon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What if Alpha is Carol?
Jeez.
Like the end of the season, we realized that Carol just went crazy and that they're just humoring her because it's
right.
Carol, but like really Alpha is just her.
Or like she's not even on that side of the pikes. Like, she's just imagining her.
Or
with her
she's
group.
ahead on a pike and she's dying. Like all of this is in her head and she's dying. That's some twisted stuff.
Oh, Lord. We're getting too crazy now.
We are.
Crazy. We
That'll
need
never
to eat
happen.
so we can get some, well, not sleep, but.
I do need sleep.
Yeah,
I've got a baby that doesn't feel well at home.
Let's add that to the itinerary, just like a mid-morning nap.
Yeah.
I'm sure the big boss will love that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure. After I just had a really good phone call with him in a great little morning meeting, and he's in a very good place. Let's keep that momentum going by sleeping.
Just taking a nap.
Oh, man. But, yeah, so we're going to catch you on Wednesday, Weird Wednesday. We're going to be talking something conspiracy or supernatural. We did conspiracy last week, so if we don't do conspiracy, maybe I'll have something supernatural to discuss.
We'll figure something out. Maybe have a guest in. Who knows what could happen.
Yeah. And then don't forget Mail Call Thursday. So we'll catch you on Wednesday. I'm Justin.
JP here.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.
JP gone.
Justin gone.
Ooh, speaking of rashes, man, you ought to take a look at this.
Let me see it.
No.
That is the most disgusting thing that I have ever seen.
Well,
have you been to a doctor about that?
Dude, I don't have insurance.
I mean, like that. What's coming out of it?
I showed my vet when I dropped off some cats, but man, they just told me to leave.
I'm sure. I mean, a strange grown man walks in, drops off a dog, and drops his trowel. I mean, should it pulsate like that?
I mean, it probably shouldn't, but I don't know.
Yeah, we need to get you to a doctor. That is,
or just get a branding iron.
At least go put some cream on that. I got Neosporin.
No, well, it works for everything else. Why not this?
Yeah.